They told me the night shift was easy money. Sit behind the counter, check IDs, maybe stock some beer. No customers, no drama, just 12 hours of boredom at Cutter's Pump, a gas station 50 miles outside Phoenix. But boredom would have been a blessing. The first thing I noticed was the smell, like burnt hair and old copper. The kind of stink that clings to your throat. The kind of stink that says something died here, but nobody buried it. My boss, old man Curtis, tossed me the keys. Said,
"Don't answer the phone after 3.
I laughed. He didn't. I thought it was some desert superstition. Turns out, it was a warning. At 1:12 a.m., a truck pulled in. No headlights, no engine sound, just appeared. The man inside didn't move. He just stared at me through the windshield, eyes wide, mouth half open, like he was trying to scream, but forgot how. I blinked. He was gone, truck and all, like dust in the wind. Then the phone rang. I looked at the clock, 3:01 a.m. I didn't want to answer it, but it rang and rang and rang. 37 times. I counted, because I couldn't stop staring at the receiver, like it was daring me to pick it up. So I did.
"Don't let him in."
The voice whispered. Then a click. Dead air. I hung up. Then I heard knocking, but not on the front door. It was coming from inside the cooler. I turned the corner, stepped into the freezing back room. The glass freezer door was fogged up, but a shape pressed against it. A face, smiling, skinless, no lips, no eyes, just teeth. I bolted the cooler shut, nailed it with a mop handle. I didn't care if there were drinks in there. No one was going back in. Then the lights flickered, and the bathroom door slammed. It was supposed to be empty. I was supposed to be alone. I watched the security cameras. All of them were normal, except camera 8. Static, crackling, and something moving in the black and white snow. Not walking, crawling, like it had too many legs. I pressed rewind. There was no footage. Camera 8 had been recording the static for 4 straight years. My hands were shaking now. I tried to call Curtis. The phone didn't work. The wires were cut. I went outside. That was a mistake. The desert was wrong. The sand looked like it was breathing, like lungs under the earth. A shadow passed under the floodlights, but there was nothing above me. I turned to run back inside and saw myself at the register, just standing there, staring at the door, waiting. I broke the front window to get back inside. Glass sliced open my palm, but I didn't care. The other me turned and smiled. Too wide, too many teeth. He said,
"You already let me in."
I backed away, and my foot hit something soft. It was Dale, the guy I replaced. His face was frozen in horror, mouth full of gas station candy, eyes rolled back, neck bent the wrong way. Then the phone rang again. 3:01 a.m. Same voice, but this time it laughed. "You belong to the pump now." Everything shook. Cans fell off shelves. Lights popped like fireworks. The floor cracked open, and tentacles of static poured out of the tiles, dragging Dale's body inside. I ran for the back door, but the cooler door had opened, and the skinless man stepped out, carrying someone's face like a mask. Mine. I tried to escape. The desert was gone. Only void. A black sky with no stars. Only teeth. Spinning above me. A cosmic grin. Cutter's Pump was a lie. A trap. A feeding station. We weren't selling gas. We were collecting souls. Fuel for something ancient. Something hungry. The gas pump started screaming. Yes, screaming. Like metal being torn apart. And inside the nozzle, I saw hundreds of mouths. Screaming my name. I looked down at my arm. Skin gone. Wires. Flickering static. I was already part of the station. An employee forever. No shifts. No sleep. Just static. And the phone kept ringing. 3:01 a.m. Forever. I didn't want this job. The last guy vanished 2 nights ago. No resignation, no footprints, just his parka hanging by the locker. But I needed the money. So I showed up at Gunner's fuel stop, a concrete graveyard buried under snowdrifts. One entrance, one exit, one pump still working. Pump number 9. Manager didn't say much, just handed me keys and muttered,
If it knocks, don't answer.
I thought he meant the customers. At midnight, I checked the cameras. Snow falling sideways. Nothing unusual, except pump 9 was dispensing fuel. No car, no customer, just hissing. I went outside. The nozzle swung like a pendulum, spraying thick, black liquid, not gas. It sizzled in the snow, leaving holes. And then I heard knocking beneath my boots. I ran back inside and locked the doors. The knocking didn't stop. It followed me, like it was tracking my weight through the floor. Each step I took, it knocked back. I called dispatch. No signal, just a long, low moan through the receiver, like something drowning. On the monitor, I saw a movement by pump 9. A shape, thin, long arms, crawling out of the hole. It had no face, only smooth white skin, cracked like porcelain. Its limbs moved wrong, like its joints were reversed. It stared at the building, not moving, just listening. I shut off the lights and ducked behind the register. Then the backroom freezer opened by itself. The cold that came out wasn't just air. It was alive. My breath fogged the air as I backed into the storage hallway. The thing from pump 9 was inside now, not walking. It slithered across the tiles, dragging its hands behind it. Every time it touched something, that thing froze. The plastic mop cracked like glass. I climbed into the attic crawl space and hid. From up there, I could see it moving through the aisles. It was sniffing, like it knew my scent. Then it looked up, right at me, and it smiled. Its skin peeled open like a flower, revealing hundreds of tiny eyes. I screamed. The roof caved in from the cold. I fell into darkness and landed in ice water, under the station, where pipes shouldn't be. I was in a tunnel, no lights, no sound, except water dripping and bones snapping in the dark. Frozen corpses hung from the walls, dressed in fuel station uniforms. Mouths open, some still blinking. They were all former employees, frozen alive, still conscious. I saw the name tags. Dale, Curtis, even one that read you. One body opened its mouth and whispered, "You filled it. Now it wants you." I ran. The thing chased me, faster now, its limbs clicking like metal, scraping through the tunnel. Ahead, I saw a ladder. I climbed, coughing blood, frostbitten hands slipping, and burst into the office. The sun was rising, but the gas pumps were gone. The manager was waiting. He didn't look surprised, just handed me a hot cup of coffee. "You lasted longer than most." I backed away. "What is it?" I asked. He pointed to the map. Under pump 9 was a well, sealed in 1954. Locals used to dump their dead in it during the winter when the ground was too hard to dig. Then something woke up in the well. It liked the cold. It liked faces. And it hated being hungry. "The fuel covers the screams," he said. I turned to leave, but my reflection in the door was smiling back at me. Too wide, too sharp. And then I understood. It got out, and it wore my skin. Rain didn't fall tonight. It stabbed the earth. I was stuck at this old gas station off Highway 9. Alone. Just me, the fridge hum, and the rotten smell wafting from pump 12. It had been out of order for weeks. Every tech said the same thing. "Smells like something died down there." At 1:33 a.m., a car pulled in. No headlights. No engine sound. It rolled to a stop at pump 12. I leaned over the counter. Couldn't see the driver. Then the door opened. The figure that stepped out looked wet. Not from rain. From inside. Its clothes were too tight. Its skin pulsed, and it stared at me without blinking. The man never spoke. He just lifted the pump, though it was locked, not connected, and started fueling. Thick red liquid gushed out, not gas. It steamed on contact with the rain. I rushed outside yelling, "Sir, that pump's dead." He didn't react, just kept pumping. Then he turned, slowly. His eyes were milky white, like someone scooped out his pupils. His jaw dropped open. "Too far," he said. "I remember you, Brandon. You left us in the fire." I stepped back. "I don't know you," but something about him was familiar. He dropped the nozzle, then sprinted toward me, faster than any human should move. I slammed the station door shut and bolted it. The CCTV flickered violently. The screen showed him standing inside, right behind me. I turned. Nothing there. Then I noticed the wet footprints. Fresh, leading into the break room. I grabbed a wrench and tiptoed after them. The door creaked open. The man was there, cracking his limbs like a puppet. His skin split, and something slid out of him. It was me. My face. My uniform. My voice. "Why did you leave us, Brandon?" It whispered again. I threw the wrench. It passed through air. Then I felt a cold hand on my neck. I blacked out. When I came to, I was outside, in the pouring rain. Naked, tied to pump 12. There was no traffic, no sound, except breathing from behind me. A dozen shapes emerged from the woods. Each had my face. Each whispered my name. One leaned close. Its mouth opened sideways. Time to fuel the memory. Then it stabbed a nozzle into my chest. I screamed, but no sound came out. Red fluid gushed out of me, into the pump. I was being drained, but I didn't die. I kept watching myself fade. I woke up inside the station. Dry, clean, shift timer blinking, 6 a.m. Like nothing happened, except pump 12 was gone. No island, no pipes, just wet footprints leading into the woods. I tried to quit that morning. Manager laughed. "You're the new permanent night," he said. But I started. He tossed me my ID badge. It read, "Employee since 1976. I'm 27. Then I caught my reflection. My skin was pale, my eyes cloudy, and I smelled like fuel. Pump 17 never worked. It was half buried in sand, rusted over, and surrounded by warning signs. I took the night shift anyway. Needed to stay away from hospitals after what happened in Tucson. At 2:09 a.m., a girl walked in, maybe 9 or 10 years old, barefoot, hair dripping with motor oil, eyes like burnt-out flashlights. She didn't speak, just pointed at pump 17. "You need gas." I asked. She nodded. There was no car, just her. She walked outside and stood by the broken pump. It hissed open like a mouth. The sand around her sank, like something was breathing under it. Then she smiled. I hit the emergency shutoff. Didn't work. I ran out to pull her away. She wasn't there, but the pump was running, leaking thick gray liquid like melted plastic. Something writhed in the sand below it. Back inside, I checked the cameras. She was on every screen, in every aisle, facing away from the camera, twitching. Then I heard a voice. A little girl whispering inside the toilet drain. "Come see my dolls, Diego." I opened the restroom door. It was covered in tiny handprints, inside and out. I stepped in. The lights died. The stall door creaked open by itself. Inside, hanging from the ceiling, were dolls made of bones. They all had my name carved into them. I found a dusty old tape behind the counter, labeled, "Do not play, pump 17." I did. The footage showed a news report from 1987. A family's car broke down by this station. They walked to pump 17. Only the daughter was found. She kept saying, The pump promised me more friends. The camera zoomed in on her face. It was the same girl from earlier. Exactly the same. Not aged. Still barefoot. Still smiling. The screen glitched, then showed me tied to a chair. Present day. Screaming. Behind me. The girl's silhouette sharpening a nozzle into a knife. I tried to leave, but every road out curved back to the station. Time felt wrong. The clock spun in reverse. The sun blinked. The sand around Pump 17 was boiling now. I hid inside the maintenance room, heart racing. Then I heard, "Tag, you're it." She was inside, crawling along the ceiling like an insect. Her fingers bent backward. Her head twisted like a cork. "Play with me or fill the pump," she hissed. She lunged. I stabbed her with a metal rod. She vanished in smoke. But when I looked down, I was holding a child's arm. Mine. The gas station is still here. Still buried in heat and silence. But now I'm part of it. I work the night shift. Every customer is a shadow. Every shadow whispers. And sometimes, she visits. Pump 17 keeps running. No fuel. No cars. Just memories. Every night, a new child comes out of the desert. And I pump them full of nightmares. Because if I don't, the girl comes back. And she plays with my bones again. It started on my third night. Pump 9 kept ringing up charges, even though no one was outside. The snowstorm had made sure of that. At 2:22 a.m., the radio behind me crackled to life. Even though it wasn't plugged in, a woman's voice whispered, "He's in your skin, Eli." I shut it off, but then I looked at the security feed. There was someone standing at Pump 9, barefoot, shirtless, skin blue from the cold. He was staring straight at the camera, but when I rushed outside, there were no footprints, just blood in the snow, and a tooth. Human, still warm. The smell hit me first. Rotten meat. Wet copper. It followed me into the break room. I looked at myself in the mirror, and behind me, he stood there. The same frozen man from Pump 9, now inside the room. His mouth open wide, wider than a mouth should. From it, something long and black slid out. It looked like a centipede, but it screamed. It launched at me. I blacked out. When I woke up, I was on the floor, shirt shredded, something moving under my skin. I could see it squirming under my ribs, trying to reach my heart. I staggered to the register. The receipt printer was spitting paper uncontrollably. Line after line said, "Pump 9, one soul, paid in full." The mirror behind the counter cracked. My reflection started smiling, even though I wasn't. Then it whispered, "You're hired. Forever." My phone buzzed. A new voicemail. It was from my own number. All it said was, "You belong to the pump now." I tried to scream, but my throat was full of insects. And outside, Pump 9 lit up on its own, waiting for the next shift.